Well, good morning. It's Pastor Al here. Thanks for spending a little time with me. I want you to know that I don't just have a corgi on the wall here. I actually have a corgi in my house. Like sometimes I have two corgis in my house. And it can make for some wild times. I wish I had more videos of them. But here's a video of these two corgis when one of them was about a year and a half old and the other was about 4 months old. Yeah, those are both my corgi. The little one is Caleb, and the larger one is my daughter Ariana's corgi, Quinn. Let me tell you a little story about how those corgis came into our life. A few years ago, my daughter Ariana lost her very beloved first corgi, and she wanted to get a new one. And she looked very hard for just a really good breeder. She found one. She's actually way over in Idaho. And she picked one out, and it was very important for her to find a breeder who would not cut the dog's tail off. With Pembroke Welsh corgis, most breeders cut off the tail at 3 days. And we like dogs with tails. We think dogs ought to be able to keep their tails, so that's what she did. And she went out there, and it was just the most wonderful thing ever.
Enjoyed his tail too.
Well, the first corgi we had a tail, and then after that we got a cardigan. And since then, when we were looking for another one, she looked very hard for one with a tail, and we found a breeder who was willing to do just what you were willing to do for us. Then thank you, not dock a tail. So
Anyway, here's the paperwork.
So we brought him back home, and they have become really good friends. And he's been a great dog. And I thought to myself, after, say about a year, you know what? I wouldn't mind kind of having a dog kind of like him. So I contacted the breeder and said, when do you think you're going to have another litter? She said, well, I'm actually with the same two parents for Quinn. I'm going to have one coming up pretty soon. And so I told her, okay. Well, if you have a male there who is sable in color or red, I will take him. Don't cut off his tail. And usually when you do that, you have to make a promise you're going to take the dog no matter what. And you have to pay up front for the dog, although she didn't require that I did that. Well, I finally went and got him, and he's a puppy, and he's a corgi, and they're cute and delightful, and you kind of want to kill him sometimes. But he's become a wonderful part of our family. The only problem he has is my wife has kind of stolen him. Now, if you look at these two puppies, you might ask yourself, what do they have in common? Well, they have a lot of things in common. The corgis, they're the same, roughly the same color. They have both the same parents. They came from the same breeder. They're both owned by Sandlows. But here's something that's very special that you can't say about a lot of dogs. Both of these dogs were chosen not just to be owned, but to be loved by the people who got them before they were born. In fact, in both cases, they were chosen before they were even growing in their mommy's tummies, before they existed at all. So before they existed, before they were born, both my daughter and I decided these were going to be our puppies, and we were going to take them, we were going to love them. People asked us, how can you choose a dog in advance? And you go, I don't know. We just did. And it's worked out pretty good. Before they were even born, they were chosen and they were loved. Now, you know why I mention that? Because if you're a Christian, that's your story too. The Bible tells us that even before the universe was created by God, God, who can see all the way through time, knew us, decided he was going to choose us to be one of his children, and that we would then follow and love him just as he would love us. and that he would carry us through this life on into eternity where we will spend our life together. Ultimately, we don't choose God. God chose us, and he did so before we were even born. Now, I know that's a little weird to think about, but ultimately, isn't it pretty cool to think that somehow God peered through time, saw us, and said, I want you to be my child. I'm going to love you forever. And you're going to love me forever. And that's going to be the coolest thing ever. So think about that, friends, that God loved you so much, loves you so much now, loved you in the past, will love you in the future, and he chose you before you were even walking around on this planet. God is that cool. Friends, have a great day. See you next week.